It's about that time. Let's go. Welcome to the Clubhouse. This is Velas Weekly Digest. Every Wednesday, make sure that the time's set. Everything blockchain news on the day-to-day. Velas here to tell you, Shirley, take it away.
All right. Hey, everybody. I am Sirli Valge, and on behalf of our team, welcome to the Velas Weekly Blockchain Digest. And as every week, I'm joined by my fellow lady from the Crypto Valley as my co-host, Delphine Forma, who's Chief Compliance Officer at DAL, board member of the Open VASP Association, and a prominent voice in the global blockchain ecosystem. Hey.
Thank you, Shirley. Always a pleasure to be here.
And our guest tonight is driven to make the world a better place. He's the CEO and founder of CoinPayments, which is the world's largest cryptocurrency payment gateway since 2013. And it's actually where Velas got rooted from. And it is the preferred cryptocurrency payment platform for merchants like Overstock and QuantFury, as well as e-commerce platform providers like Shopify and OpenCart. Jason Butcher, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Shirley. Great to be here.
Please tell us, our audience, Jason, what drives you, and maybe you want to say a few more words about CoinPayments achievements.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess what really drives me as an entrepreneur is to find and bring solutions and opportunities to the world by creating new initiatives and ideas and collaborating with others to make things better for the community that we all live in and we all share together. And so that's my main driving force behind the things that I do. CoinPayments itself was actually founded in 2013 by a couple of different, or actually by about 4 different guys and groups and people, one of them being Alex, who was also the founder and creator behind Velas. And the business today, we're processing over $700 million a month in crypto transactions, and we're supporting thousands and thousands of merchants around the world that all accept crypto as a form of payment. So today, we are definitely one of the leaders, or if not the leader, in crypto payment solutions and providing solutions for merchants.
That's really impressive. And are you operating on all continents?
Yeah, we pretty much operate in about 180 countries. There is some areas that we're just limited to due to sanctions, and areas that we just have to limit the access or solutions that we provide to in those markets. But we do have clients in North America, Latin America, Europe, UK, South America, as I mentioned, Asia, pretty much everywhere that you can think of, for sure.
And what is the biggest market for your services?
The biggest markets, it actually is. There's a big variety in our largest markets. Malaysia and Asia are huge markets for us. The European markets are probably our second largest, and North America is probably our number one space. But North America, we also consider Canada and the US as all the sort of same jurisdiction. And one of our largest clients, who drives a lot of the business volume, is today technically a part of the North American market. So we definitely see a lot of growth in the Latin American market right now. But our number one space at the moment is probably North America.
Great, thank you, Jason. So I've heard, you mentioned that you're not operating in certain countries due to sanction regulation. And as a compliance expert, I would like to know a little bit more, about your KYC and AML procedure. Do you actually do KYC? Do you have some AML process in place? If you can just give a large overview, because you might not be the one who wants to get into details over there, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, and I am definitely heavily involved in our compliance process things. I'm certified for under blockchains sort of compliance programs and work with all of our ACAMs registered compliance team. So the CoinPayments actually provides access for all of its clientele and users to a custodial wallet platform that's run under HODL. And HODL is a licensed virtual asset service provider that's based in Estonia. And that business does all of the compliance process. So KYC, account verification, document verifications, liveness checks, etc. So all of the clientele that we have, anybody who's doing over $1,000 or has done over $1,000 in transactional business, is all required to do KYC. And in the background, we're always doing transaction monitoring on every single transaction that goes through the business. And we use platforms and systems such as Blockchain Intelligence Group that does all of those transaction monitoring for us. And our compliance team reviews those items every day.
Oh, very cool. You seem very advanced. I'm very glad to hear that. Very professional answer. I like it.
Yeah, thank you. We started that, of course, in the industry and the models in 2013, 14, 15. Those systems really were not suitable, and or did they even exist. But in 2018, we implemented a full KYC and compliance program and started the initiative to transition all of our wallets and all of our custodial services into a program that made sure that we were as compliant as possible in the different jurisdictions. And of course, as we add new products and services, soon we're launching a fiat off-ramp and settlement solution. And that requires us to be compliant, as you know, compliant in different jurisdictions, including licenses in North America and licenses in Canada, Europe, etc. So we have MSB licenses now in the US. We have MSB licenses in Canada, and we're working on EMI licenses in the European and UK markets as well.
Oh, that sounds very cool, and I can perfectly relate to that. You know, when I joined the crypto industry, it was end of 2017. I joined an exchange, and I had to set up all the compliance procedure in place because nothing was there, right? So, totally understand where you're going. It's very cool. Thank you.
So Jason, as I warned you, we usually start our show with a bit of a Bitcoin price discussion. And the last few weeks were packed with drama. So from cryptic Elon's meme tweets to Anonymous issuing a statement and a few folks cursing at Tesla's founder at Miami BTC, which by the way was absolutely massive. I don't know if you were there. I know Kalani was there.
Yeah, I wasn't myself. A few of our team from CoinPayments were there, and I know many people were that were there. I had so many people messaging me saying, "Where am I? Where am I?" But I didn't make it due to sort of travel restrictions and the COVID circumstance stuff at the moment. But you know, the 20,000 plus people that were there, I think it was awesome to see. Where, you know, over the years maybe there was 5,000 people or a few thousand people, and that was huge at the time. And to hear about the stories today with the amount of people and interest, also some of the comments that I heard from it was a lot of people that were there were around infrastructure and supporting growth and development around blockchain itself as well as Bitcoin. So I really think that the initiatives are huge. I also see within our own business that in the last year we've seen almost 300% growth in transactions using crypto as a form of payment, and I truly believe that the stage of adoption we're in is just starting. And whether the naysayers or groups say, "Oh, this is challenging," or "This is this token or coin is crap," or there's different things. Initiatives are all in place, and you can hear about the El Salvador now announcing that it's using Bitcoin as its main currency. Those types of things, I think initiatives are happening around the world globally, as well as the announcements of the Britain launching a stable coin and other projects in China and other areas around the world. I think we're really just starting to see the beginning phases of adoption.
Yeah, I have a little bit of insight on that, and that kind of segues a little bit into I think it was kind of the perfect storm. So basically, you know, you've got all these people that were. It was also fight week for the Floyd Mayweather fight, so you had a spillover of a huge amount of celebrities that were in town as well, right? And then you things that Jason just pertained to that where he's, you know, like the adoption's kind of at an all-time high. And then you also have the perfect storm of all these people haven't been able to go to like a legit conference for like over a year now, right? So you have all these things that were kind of like perfectly kind of bundled together into a perfect storm. And it was actually a very well done conference as well. Like the way that they built it, the way that they did things, it just turned. I've probably been to 30, 40 crypto conferences in my life, and this was hands down the best one I've ever been to. You had stuff like Tony Hawk over there on a half pipe, and then you had an NFT gallery, like, you know, in a dome right next door. They had food trucks everywhere. It was just a really fun experience. And I think that the retail investors and the retail people that might not be on the what do you say, project side of crypto really enjoyed themselves and had a great time, and they're going to come back the next year. The whole city like showed out for it. I mean, there was everywhere. It was buzzing. You could just tell everything from the conference to the after parties was the best I've ever seen. So it was definitely it was really cool to be there.
It's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, the videos that went viral on Twitter and in the internet, it looked like it was great fun there. But
it was.
Jason, in terms of the bull run, do you think we're somewhere in the middle or in the end?
Well, you know, Shirley, I guess in my previous calls with people, I've had lots of questions around this kind of mark, and I tend to be you know, low on my valuations or my ideas, but I actually really think that for the end of this year we're going to see a big push, and I don't doubt at all that we're going to see Bitcoin hit the highs again, you know, over the 60,000 that we saw already. And I definitely think that we're going to see that over this year.
Yeah, same for me, Charlie. As you know, I'm still bullish. I do think that there are going to be some volatility due to regulation and like the future FATF meetings that is going to be held at the end of this month, but I'm sure it's going to hold to the moon, you know. I'm not giving up on my idea of the 100K by the end of the year. And also speaking of that, BitMEX has announced plans to deposit a physical wallet containing a single Bitcoin on the moon surface. I find that quite cool. They're going to do it before Elon Musk. Yay! Sorry about that. So I think it's very cool, but that's not it. There is also a 100X group, which is the holding group of BitMEX, that has obtained the International Organization for Standardization, so ISO, Information Security Certification. I think that's really cool because the certification provides a framework for assessing organization protection of their information assets. So what does that mean? It means that BitMEX is considered secure enough to safeguard customer and partner data on its platform. So very cool. No, Shirley, I can't hear you anymore.
I think Shirley dropped off.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you're back. It's your turn. You can go ahead.
It was my mistake, my technical error. I thought I lost you. Okay.
No, you can keep going, Shirley.
Okay, so El Salvador, or where you are.
We are there.
Are you there? Okay.
You can go.
So I think it's one of the, as we mentioned, or Jason mentioned a bit before, that's one of the biggest news of the last week, I think. El Salvador developing a bill to recognize Bitcoin as a legal tender, and according to the president. And in a videotaped announcement shown last Saturday, he said he will submit the bill this week. Was it today?
I think it was approved today.
Yeah, it was approved today. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So this is really a big step forward, and I think like we can see some other Latin American or countries follow.
Yes, there was, actually on that, Charlie, there was Uruguay, I think, like he's planning to implement some crypto-friendly regulation and new crypto tax and taxation to attract business to build up crypto and crypto mining, and they have like big hydro electricity power. That was on the news this morning. So I think South America is catching up on everything at the moment.
Definitely.
You also have,
Hey, Georg.
you also have a lot of the Caribbean nations that are Eastern Caribbean banks and associations have also launched things through like groups like BIT and other organizations that have supported, blockchain initiatives and stablecoin initiatives and a lot of things. You really see a lot of things happening if you look at the sort of the background of a lot of the initiatives that are happening globally. And I think El Salvador is just one of those areas. Of course, it's a challenged market in itself from a dollar standpoint. I think we'll see things similar to areas like Venezuela and other Latin American markets for sure. But I think we're going to start seeing even more initiatives globally.
Georg, you wanted to weigh in. You're welcome.
Yeah, a question for Jason. You mentioned the 300% year-on growth there, and I was just wondering, I mean, you kind of already touched on it. You mentioned Latin America. What I want to ask you is, are you able to disclose or even sort of nod if the sort of big growth has been due to obviously Latin America trying to use Bitcoin as, I mean, I'm thinking more of middle class. If you see your domestic currency going down the drain, you would, think of, if I change this into crypto, I have a natural sort of hedge, a little bit like gold, copper, or any other commodity. Have you seen any of that, or is it just more these initiatives coming from a monetary point of view, or is it sort of driven by middle class and people trying to protect their wealth?
Well, what I can comment on is I'll comment two ways. One is from our standpoint with CoinPayments, we really see transactional business that are happening between merchants and users that are making payments for those transactions using crypto, and that has a significant growth. We see Brazil right now just really exploding. There's approximately 2.5 million crypto users and holders in Brazil alone. So the market there is significant with people holding and investing, but also using crypto as a form of payment. Now, from some information that was shared by QuantFury, which is one of our largest clients, they're a trading platform and an investment platform that supports mostly Latin American markets. They have had a massive growth within their Latin American audience from investing in holding crypto. So I would say, for answering your question, I think that those markets are definitely seeing crypto as an opportunity for significant value reservation, holding their value, but also increasing their value.
Yeah.
Georg.
Thanks. No, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but somehow the news of El Salvador developing the bill didn't have any effect on the Bitcoin price, any positive effect at least, back in the weekend.
Well, it looks like no, it has, right? I mean, I'm actually looking at the price right now, and we are at USD 36.3, and like the bill has been adopted today, so it looks like maybe there has a little impact on the price. There's also positive news, right? I mean, there's like a lot of other positive news that happens that Jason also briefly mentioned, and then on top of that you have Goldman Sachs that has joined in a sizable funding round to help blockchain firm Block Diamond to expand. So funding one is like 28 million from investor, including venture capital from Green Springs Associate, crypto lending platform BlockFi, and some other venture capital. So I think that was pretty strong news. Then you also have European investment companies that has been funded by the billionaire Christian Angermeyer and backed by Galaxy Digitals. Is looking to pour around 100 million into crypto venture funds over the next 2 years. And then last but not least, you have a NASDAQ-listed company called Victory Capital, who is planning to enter the crypto market through a private fund for accredited investors that will track the NASDAQ crypto index. I think those are also massive developments that might have impacting the price a little bit? I don't know. What are you guys' take on that?
Yeah, I think we need it.
Yeah,
It's been good.
go ahead.
It's been good. It's been a steady kind of. Well, getting back to the Bitcoin price and stuff like that, I firmly believe what Jason said, that I think that we're going to do very well towards the end of this year. If you look at the past trends with, bull cycles, there's always 3 heavy corrections of 30% or more sometimes. And I think we're in the 3rd correction right now. So like the last run up, I think, is coming towards the end of this year. I think that I'm not sure if this movement right here is going to be it, but I do think that this is positive. There's some positive news. There was a lot of negative news last week, and that's how the crypto market works. I mean, it goes in cycles. And that's kind of the reason people love crypto, is because of the volatility. I think
what do you think about Elon's manipulation on the Bitcoin price?
I think that it's real easy to point the finger at him, right? It's real easy to say, oh, it's all him. I mean, and he does have an effect, but I think that there's a lot larger hands at play there, and it'd be silly to just say it's all because of him. It's usually a cumulative effect that causes the market to go in one way or the other, unless the news is just crazy, like impactful. That can definitely spawn off into other news that causes a greater move. But I think that this is positive. We've needed this, and as the market sentiment goes, so does the excitement, and you'll see a lot more positive news coming. It's like a snowball effect either way, or either up the hill or down the hill. That's the way I look at it. So,
Jason, do you have any thoughts on Elon's memes on Twitter?
Well, I guess if you were to blame everything on him today, you would also have to put all the positive on him as well, which I don't think that the crypto industry should depend on one individual or an Elon Musk to drive the market up and or down. So as much as everybody wants to blame somebody or congratulate somebody or point fingers, I think that there's ultimately there's a whole number of elements that are happening. When Bitcoin was going up, you had not just Elon, or should we really say Tesla, because it was really Tesla's corporation that was buying the Bitcoin. You also had many other billionaires and other large financial institutions buying crypto, investing in crypto, demonstrating the support and the initiatives. Today we have, a financial industry market outside of crypto that is being crippled, right? We have challenges with the stock market. We have challenges with organizations and financial situations that are outside of any individual. So I think that, yes, Elon's posts and Twitter stuff is out there, but I think that the elements that we see are going to grow the business is a combination of the industry, the combination of the financial industry markets, big players like the JP Morgans and other groups that are heavily invested now, and then the launch of publicly traded companies that are now coming out saying, hey, we're investing and we're participating in this. Of course, as a business who invests in any asset, whether it's crypto or gold, at some point they're going to want to take their profits off of the table. And just like any investor, at some point they do want to take the profit off and put it into something else. And I think that's what happened with Tesla. And today we see a little bit of a change in the market, but I don't think it's specifically based on Elon alone, not the ups and or the downs. So I think that we're going to see a great positive uptake over the next few months and into the end of the year.
Yeah, and also what's bullish and what's definitely creating more confidence in me in terms of crypto and fintech developing further is more and more top talent flocking to crypto. Like especially we saw it here in Switzerland, where big heads of banks from the traditional banking are shifting to startups, and the sector is eating the software that ate the world. So this isn't just seen in the amount of capital being deployed in Bitcoin or DeFi, but which might have gone elsewhere, but also in the human beings who choose to work in the industry. So over the last few months outside Switzerland, there are some news that Few notable departures from traditional financial and software giants like Bridgewater, which is the world's largest hedge fund, lost its chief financial officer to New York NYDIG, which is a leading technology and financial services firm that is dedicated to Bitcoin. And also Coinbase hired a top Goldman Sachs lobbyist, and FTX Exchange hired an executive from Citadel Securities, and more news like that are also creating more confidence, I think.
Absolutely. I also really think that and truly support the initiatives of regulators that are regulating and supporting and providing frameworks that provide more confidence from both mainstream merchants as well as organizations and banks and financial institutions that are more supportive. A couple of years ago, it was literally impossible to get a bank account, for example. Today, we can as a crypto company and as other organizations. And I think that just gives us more support overall to be able to push our business even further ahead and be able to offer more services to our clientele. And I think that's really going to support the overall business.
Yeah, absolutely. Delphine,
Yes, Shirley.
tell us what's been happening in the legal and compliance side of the crypto
Oh
these
my
past few
God,
days?
a lot of things has been happening recently, actually. So we had first, let's start with what happened in the US. Google is tightening its restriction on those seeking to pitch cryptocurrency exchange and wallet to US customers. So starting from August 3rd, anyone who is seeking to advertise those type of product to US customer on Google would have to be registered with FinCEN, or they should be a federal or state charter bank. So basically, yeah, you have to be regulated. If you want to advertise your service to US customer using Google and you are a cryptocurrency exchange or wallet provider. It's quite strict. Then also in the US,
Jason, you wanted to comment?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Google is always changing its direction and methods of doing stuff, and they have to fall into their advertising regulations and guidelines, and mostly it's driven by the U.S. market. Of course, today there's many other solutions for marketing and advertising and things like regulating and being registered with FinCEN makes sense if you are targeting the U.S. market. But if you're not targeting the U.S. market, it doesn't really make any sense. So I think that there's reasons and benefits for Google to do it, but I think that there's other organizations and markets like Brave, for example, the Brave software and search systems that are now up to, I think, 30 million users daily. There's definitely other avenues and venues out there for advertising and marketing or reaching search. Google is obviously following their regulatory frameworks and requirements in the U.S.
Yeah, definitely, because Google has been sending us every quarter like $50 or €50 for credit for advertising to our headquarters here in Zug.
Right.
So what else, Delphine?
Yes, also something coming from the Commodity Future Trading Commission. So they say that DeFi market for derivative instrument, so like we're talking about future contract, option and stuff like that, may not be legal under the Commodity Exchange Act, which is a US law that governs this type of product and require them to trade only on regulated designated contract market. I am absolutely not surprised by that, as would have tend to think the same. But then you have something like as a better news, like more positive side, it's still in the US. So you have the SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce. She said in an interview with the Financial Times, I think it was yesterday, that overzealous regulation of cryptocurrency in the US could hinder innovation. And she actually said, I am concerned that the initial reaction of a regulator is always to say, I want to grab hold of this and make it like the markets I already regulate. And then she had, I'm not sure that's going to be great for innovation. I find it quite cool. I was really pleased when I read that. Still with the SEC, it has announced on Friday, May 28th, forged charges against 5 US promoters of BitConnect, an alleged fraud that operated along the line of a pyramid scheme from 2016 to 2018. So for people who are quite new to the cryptocurrency world, you might not recognize the name, but BitConnect was a huge story and an important kind of negative news part of the crypto history. So let's see what's going to happen there. Positive news, you have the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK has extended the deadline for crypto business to register under its temporary registration regime. So from July 9, no companies as to March 31st, 2022. So it's quite good news. It just shows that the FCA is completely overwhelmed, I guess. I don't know if you guys have been involved in the registration process with the FCA, but we had to do it with my previous company, and it's really, really heavy work. You have to tell them a lot of things, like really detail your process from business plan to compliance. I think that was quite a difficult exercise. But
you mean with the Swiss exchange, even if you're not serving US clients?
Surely, we were based in the UK. The staff was in Switzerland, but the legal entity was in the UK, so we had to register there.
Yeah, I know people. I know people in the UK doing EMI applications, and they've been in process for 2 years. So when the FCA is going through a lot of changes in areas in the last couple of years between previous to 2 years ago, they really didn't have any oversight over their EMIs, and they had a lot of negative situations come up that they then started actually applying oversight, and they don't really have enough team or resources at the FCA to even handle their oversight programs, let alone new approvals and new applications. And then the additional adding of crypto firms has just brought in a whole new area for them, which I believe that they're just under service and under resourced.
Yeah, I guess that too. I mean, and also they might sometimes lack of knowledge about all the crypto business work. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And maybe they're hiring people, I guess, hopefully. So they will speed up the process a little bit. But yeah, then we also had Bitfinex, which is now a shareholder of a decentralized exchange, which is called HODL. And this decentralized exchange provides lending and private transaction services. Apparently, they don't have any KYC checks, and we all know that Bitfinex has been in trouble in the US very recently. So I'm not sure about how the regulator is going to like that. But anyway, with new FATF regulation, decentralized exchange may have to have some sort of compliance checks in place if this goes through by June 2021. Let's see what's going to happen there. And then as the crypto crime news, I guess you guys have seen, I mean, that was like the huge news of yesterday or the day before, with a big enforcement operation against encrypted communication involving Europol. There was tons of people arrested in Australia and also in New Zealand, Netherlands. It was like a big operation. If you have time to read, there is a very interesting article in The Guardian about like the full operation, what they did. I think it's quite it's a very interesting read. So if you guys have time, I think it's an interesting story. And then, last but not least, and not such a great news from a crime point of view. So the Hamas has been getting some generous Bitcoin donation, and they send them through Binance, which is quite interesting. I'm wondering what kind of controls they have in place over there. But according to 3 blockchain analytics firm and CoinDesk on analysis. So the Hamas received 100K of Bitcoin since the beginning of 2021, with a spike in donation in May with what happened in Gaza when Israel and Hamas exchanged multiple rocket attacks, resulting in 100 of casualties. So yeah, I'm just wondering what Binance is doing. You know, do they need some compliance advisory? I'm up to do that if they need.
How doesn't it get caught by some analytics or blockchain auditing?
I don't know. I'm actually very curious because like there's a lot of if you use Chainalysis, because I was using Chainalysis in the past, there was like I think it was last year or 2 years ago, they sent a full list of address linked to the Hamas, and then as a compliance officer, obviously I have to check, you know, that we have not been involved in that. So I'm surprised.
True.
Maybe they don't use the right provider, or maybe the compliance officer was on holidays. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's it for the news, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there. I leave some for next week, Shirley, because otherwise what am I going to talk about?
There is no next week.
Oh,
so actually, we have a
Jason,
summer break.
I have a question for you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but
can you tell us maybe a little bit of some of the exciting things you guys have on the horizon for CoinPayments? I know you guys have a lot of unique things coming out.
I kind of mentioned earlier. I mean, we actually have launched a new credit card solution. We're just in the process of announcements and testing and things like that. We also have our fiat rails and fiat settlement solution that's coming out shortly, as well as some interesting new payment platforms. We've recently brought on a new CTO, Marshall Webb, who has recently won some awards for massive hacking of the Saudi, or I guess the Dubai police center and things. But we've brought him on recently as our new CTO, which is very, very exciting. Not necessarily so exciting for our clients, but it's very exciting for us.
I heard it on the Dubai conference that Marshall Webb is the CTO of CoinPayments. I was like, what? That's something new?
Yeah.
So he hacked the Dubai police with 4 seconds or something like that.
Exactly. So, you know, I think aside from that, we definitely have a number of other really fantastic news that is going to probably come out over the next 30 to 60 days. The business just keeps moving forward, and we've new support systems also being launched as well, which is always good to make sure that our customers and merchants are always supported the best that we can.
Very cool news. I like that.
And I recommend everybody to follow Jason on LinkedIn under the name Jason Butcher. He has very interesting graphics that he shares, and I always find your info very interesting.
Thank you very much.
I just sent a request.
We have someone who wants to ask from the audience. Nathan. Hi.
Shirley, you didn't let him up the stage, and I can't see him, so...
I see him, but I don't, and I see his hand up, but I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm giving him speaking right, but I think the technology, like the Clubhouse, sometimes just doesn't work. Some days, because I'm giving him...
Nathan, maybe you exit and then join again, and it'll probably work. So that's usually a good way to do it.
He's back.
Yeah.
I invite him to speak.
Yeah.
Can he post a message in here too?
Okay, now he's now a speaker. Hi.
Fantastic, I'm in.
Hi,
yeah, Clubhouse is terrible. It seems to have it's very temperamental. You know, got to treat it carefully. I just kind of wanted to maybe go down a little bit of a rabbit hole in relation to that article that you mentioned, Delphine, about Hamas receiving all those donations, because I'm wondering if let's say the regulators or so on, or the people, you know, the governments are really actually going to be prepared for all of those transactions to then become visible, transparent, if the world is going to move into the digital age? Because it's not just those for 50 or 60,000 that was transferred across to Hamas. They are continually receiving monies all of the time from a number of different resource places. And how prepared do you think the governments are to actually have all of that information visible right in front of them? And then what do you think maybe the knock-on effects are actually going to be when it comes to industry and the wider parts of the economy? If they want to try and get donations, maybe they'll just publish a book, quote unquote, and have some rich person buy 1 million copies of the book, right? I mean, there's many ways in which you can move money to those individuals who are on a sanctions list.
No, I fully agree with you. I mean, I think government is not equipped, but I also think it's very complicated and it's very difficult to be equipped because, I mean, like with crypto, you can open a wallet address so easily. You can open multiple of them. Also, I think they use a new system where each time you want to make a donation, then it goes to a new address. So I think like stopping that real time is very difficult, but then you can still use post-transaction monitoring and doing post-transaction, but then the problem is like, or you're going to get access to that, or you're going to try to freeze it. That would be the main problem I see there. But with BSV technology, we are working on actually tools to help enforcement agency to be able to actually size directly crypto on the blockchain. But I can't tell you more at the moment on that part.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I really feel like there are so many different sort of conversations that need to be had in relation to the future of compliance. And, it's almost as if like every single case that I kind of see, appearing in the media is just another conversation which needs to take place to understand exactly what the implication of that is going to be in a new way of thinking when it comes to using, BSV or some other tool, or some other network, which is there, right? So
yes, I exactly fully agree with you.
Thank you for the question. Does anyone else want to ask any of our speakers?
Delphine, just a quick one. You mentioned something about the derivatives and swaps market. There was some regulation. Would that apply for symmetrical products also, like direct risk transfer, do you think, or predictive markets, which is kind of growing right now on the DeFi side?
I would need a little bit more information. It all depends on the setup. I can't, I'm going to give you a lawyer reply, which I am. It depends. I need to have like more detail. It really depends on how it is structured, what exactly you are doing. Like,
let's say it's essentially. Imagine just a marketplace where if there is a catastrophic event of whatever it will be, let's say a hurricane of whatever scale, if it hits that, then a smart contract will trigger a payment to those ones. That something similar to that. That's sort of a predict market, or let's say that would be. Well, you could either argue it's just a predictive market, or you could argue it's a contract. So
it's like options, right? You're talking about like
exactly. This is what I was thinking.
Essentially, what it is, it's a synthetic financial product. But I mean, it falls in between a bit of chairs here and there. That's the problem with it.
I would say it depends in which jurisdiction this is located. Under US, I'm almost sure that would have to be regulated. In EU, might also fall in. Might also fall under MiFID II. In the UK, might also be regulated, but then it will depend also like on how it is settled, and those kind of considerations will be also important to know about.
If it was a SNIS market,
But I'm sorry, I need to jump. So George, we can have a conversation on that later when you call me tomorrow or Friday, and we can discuss more in detail. But I need to jump.
Sure.
Sorry,
Thank you,
thank you,
Delphine.
Shirley. Thank you, Jason.
All right, take care, Delphine.
Thanks, bye. So was anybody watching the CoinGeek conference today?
No, I actually wasn't, but I heard about it. Was there anything notable?
They had some really good panel discussions. Speaking about NFTs, was very, very interesting. Learned a little bit more about the STAS protocol today as well. Absolutely fascinating. And keynote speaker today, the last session was Craig Wright, talking about how he plans to take on and destroy Silicon Valley. So it was very entertaining.
That's cool.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
no, I'm like, I was in Miami for 3 days, and I listened to so many talks. It was insane. But there's a lot of, I mean, that's the thing I love about this industry. There's so much, like every week it seems like there's, something something new on the horizon that everyone's talking about. But yeah, NFTs were a huge point of focus for the Bitcoin conference, actually. I don't know if anyone else was there in Miami, but if they were there, they probably noticed they made that a huge focal point. I'm sorry, I might have missed half of what you said, Nathan, because my phone kept cutting out in and out, so I was like popping in and out of there. So I don't know if that was in any context to what you were talking about. I just heard NFTs.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I didn't really go into any further detail in relation to the NFTs, but you have the exchange Bitstocks, the Gravity Bitstocks exchange.
Yeah.
Michael Hudson announced a new, or that they are going to be offering a new NFT marketplace using the STAS protocol, and it's really interesting in terms of what they can actually achieve by utilizing this particular protocol, and what exactly could be an NFT.
That's pretty
it's
cool.
Really interesting. Yeah.
I just
Hey, Nathan,
realized you can watch it. You can watch it on YouTube.
Can
live
you
stream.
Nathan, could you just add me on Twitter or something, and then shoot me over that if you have a few seconds? I'd like to learn about that, because that seems really interesting.
I don't actually have a Twitter.
Okay, let me see what you got. Are you? Do you have any of your?
I'm on LinkedIn, so I can.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Perfect.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'd love to see what you're talking about. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, hit me up, give me a follow, and we'll chat. Thank you, man. Are we still going, Shirley, or what's the?
I don't know. I said Michael. Michael, did you want to?
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to ask. I just looked it up regarding the STAS protocol. That's something that the company, the TAL, is promoting. Is that correct?
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
I've heard Delphine speaking about STAS.
Okay. That's something for me to look up. I just wanted to quickly say if Velas or any other projects you know about Shirley need any help, I'm happy to jump in if that's something I can do. I'm a
definitely
solution architect.
We could use. Yeah, because we are onboarding now new projects to build on Velas, and we have a grants program, and we're also announcing a ecosystem fund really soon. So we're on full power mode onboarding new projects. So anyone is welcome to refer.
Okay.
And we can. Are we connected on LinkedIn?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
I'm
we
actually
can take it from there.
I'm actually in CV Labs if you have time later on. Otherwise, we can talk tomorrow or whenever this week.
Okay.
Or something like that.
We can talk tomorrow.
Okay.
You know where my office is, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm actually in the on the second floor now as well. So, but if you're busy,
okay. Behind my room.
Okay, exactly.
All right.
Okay, thanks. That's it from me. Thanks very much.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm gonna close off the room.
All right. Hey, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure talking to you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
Speak soon.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.